Hello, my name is Jacob Lab, and my partner is Connor Pedeswa. Today, we will be walking you through the benefits of yoga and meditation and how these practices can improve health span. I will be the gentle voice you listen to during this video, and you can see Connor currently setting up to be my visual aid. As we age, we all seek ways to keep our minds and bodies strong. In this video, we will look at two ancient practices, yoga and meditation, both of which modern science is revealing can have a profound effect on increasing our health span and maybe even lifespan. We'll delve into the biology of aging, explain how inflammation and oxidative stress accelerate it, and explore cutting edge research showing how yoga and meditation can slow it down, enhancing not just how long we live, but how well we live. To find out how yoga and meditation influence aging, we first have to learn why we age. There are two important theories regarding our topic. The first of which is cellular senescence. Cells become stressed and damaged over time and end up being unable to divide. These senescent cells release toxic factors that kill surrounding tissue and are blamed for age-related diseases. A protein known as GDF15 is one of the key markers of this process. The second relevant theory of aging is oxidative stress and inflammation. Free radical buildup and chronic low-grade inflammation may result in DNA, protein, and mitochondrial damage. Some of them are leading inducers of diseases of aging, such as heart disease, arthritis, and Alzheimer's. The good news, research indicates that yoga and meditation can slow down these damaging processes, which can aid both longer and healthier living. So now, getting to the first study that we will analyze and look at, we're going to be looking at Savova et al. 2015, looking at yoga and cardiorespiratory fitness. On screen to the right, you can see Connor, who will start to demonstrate the poses in meditation. For this study, while I talk about it, he will demonstrate mountain pose, then go into a low lunge, and then step back into downward dog. He will then end with hands at heart center. So getting into the study a little bit. When Savova and colleagues set out to determine whether long-term yoga could improve cardiorespiratory fitness, or CRF, in adults. Why CRF? It's a strong predictor of health span and longevity. Greater CRF is strongly associated with lower cardiovascular risk and all-cause mortality. Simply put, the better your heart and lungs work, the longer and healthier you will be. But here's the big question this study asked. Does yoga, a lower impact activity than running or cycling, offer the same advantages as aerobic exercise for heart and lung function? To find out, the scientists tested 112 adults. 50 of them had practiced yoga for more than 2 years. The other 50 practiced aerobic exercise like jogging or cycling regularly. All of them underwent standardized fitness testing on a cycle ergometer, which measures how efficiently your body uses oxygen, specifically a metric called VO2 max. The findings were amazing. The yoga group also had a higher VO2 max per kilogram of body weight. They were more oxygen efficient, albeit with less intense exercise. They also had lower resting blood pressure and heart rates, especially in women. These findings suggest that yoga may increase CRF by mechanisms that are entirely unrelated to exercise. Control of breathing, awareness of the body, and regulation of the autonomic nervous system likely all play a role. That's important, as heart rate variability and parasympathetic tone, both enhanced through yoga, are reliable indicators of cardiovascular resilience and recovery. In aging, that means yoga enables older adults to maintain a strong, elastic cardiovascular system without the joint wear and tear or injury risk of high impact exercise. But the study wasn't perfect. It wasn't randomized, and volunteers chose groups of activities to join in. So there could be selection bias. And the aerobic control group wasn't strictly controlled. Still, this study is part of mounting evidence that yoga is not stretching or being present, it is an effective means of enhancing cardiovascular fitness and fostering functional longevity. Now we'll get into study two. Connor on the screen on the right, you will now see Connor in a seated, easy pose, deeply breathing in through his nose and out through his mouth. He will then alternate nostril breathing using his finger. After that, he will end by beginning adding small head and body twists for slight movement. So our second paper from the Whitehall 2 cohort is distinct. It did not involve a yoga intervention, but it told us why methods like yoga may work. Researchers tested the blood of thousands of older adults to measure a protein called GDF15, or growth differentiation factor 15. The molecule is a proven biomarker of cellular aging and whole body inflammation. The question was, do high levels of GDF15 portend unhealthy aging outcomes? The answer, yes. Individuals with higher GDF15 levels were much more likely to become ill with age-related disease, likely cardiovascular disease and cancer, and even to die prematurely. So breaking it down, cellular senescence is when a cell enters permanent retirement mode. It no longer divides but releases inflammatory chemicals. These zombie cells do accumulate with age, killing surrounding tissues. GDF15 is a part of that inflammatory signal. So what about yoga? While this research did not subject yoga to a test, other research suggests that yoga and meditation can reduce inflammation and even GDF15 levels back to this biological pathway. For example, mindfulness and breathing practices reduce cortisol, our main stress hormone, which subsequently regulates inflammatory signaling. While the study has limitations, such as it's observational and not testing an intervention, it still has a solid biological justification. If yoga reduces inflammation and inflammation drives aging, then yoga could potentially slow or halt age-related decline by influencing mechanisms like the one GDF15 uses. Now getting into study three. On the screen on the right, you will see Connor start in a seated meditative posture. Then he will shift into a cat-cow stretch and end with a supine twist. So the third study investigates the cellular core of aging. In 2017, Tolahunes and coworkers implemented a 12-week program named YMLI, or Yoga and Meditation-Based Lifestyle Intervention. Healthy adults between 30 and 65 years old took part. The regimen combined asanas, yoga physical postures, pranayama, breath control exercises, and dhyana, seated meditation. The researchers tested a number of aging biomarkers before and after the 12 weeks. The result? Unbelievable. Reactive oxygen species and 8-OHDG, both markers of oxidative stress and DNA damage, plummeted. Total antioxidant capacity rose, protecting cells against future damage. Telomerase activity improved. This is the enzyme that rebuilds telomeres, the protective caps on chromosomes, and shorten as we age. Cortisol and interleukin 6, two markers of stress and inflammation, decreased. And BDNF, which is brain plasticity marker, B endorphins, natural mood elevators, and sirtuin-1, a protein linked to longevity, all rose. Overall, the cellular environment of the participants was better. Their bodies showed less damage, more resilience, and better regenerative capacity. But there are some constraints. The study included no control and was unblinded, so the effect of placebos cannot be ruled out. However, the broad range of positive changes to biomarkers highly suggests actual beneficial effects on biological processes. This study provides probably the most obvious evidence that yoga and meditation do affect the very processes that fuel aging. Back to the DNA. So overall, going over the strengths and limitations. What does the science say? Yoga and meditation consistently show benefits for inflammation, antioxidant defenses, cognitive function, and stress regulation, pillars of healthy aging. But the studies aren't perfect. A lot of the studies lack control groups, aren't big enough, or group together yoga and meditation in such a manner as to not really know the independent effects. So now for our call to action. The good news is that even modest, consistent yoga or meditation practice can help us stem the tide of time, saving our minds and bodies from its ravages. We encourage you to experiment with these practices, not as exercise, but as ways to build resilience, reduce stress, and achieve a healthy span of life. Thank you.